The tree of knowledge of good and evil. The tree of knowledge of good and evil is symbolic of our sinful desire. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil represents the discerning capability of the mind. Man first becomes aware of knowledge, then he must discern the relation of ideas before activity is set up within him. It is evident that the tree is closely related to individual free will or desire, which is in direct touch with the serpent or selfhood, self-will. In that state of consciousness, the individual shall surely die. Good and evil represent the extremes of knowledge and thus serve as an expression for completeness, comprehending all within the two opposites. In Genesis chapter 2 and verse 9 to 15 we read our description of the Garden of Eden. It was a pleasant place with all kinds of trees and plants, and the garden was watered naturally by a river. Within this pleasant garden Yahweh Elohim placed two trees which were symbolic of his relationship with mankind. The tree of life was symbolic of God's promise of immortal life to those who choose to follow his ways rather than the way of human nature. The tree of knowledge of good and evil was in the garden as a test for mankind and to allow free will. They could follow God's way, or they could follow the way of human nature, looking for instant pleasure. We talked about the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil as it was the only fruit that Adam was forbidden to eat. In Genesis chapter 2 verses 16 and 17 we see that this was God's first commandment. Until this time the idea of death had not been part of human experience. There had been no need for the killing of animals as a sacrifice for sins. All the prosperity of Adam when they reach the age of adolescence and their eyes are in the opening begin to eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. We must therefore say this, that the first good is rare, imparted to but a few, but the evil is comprehensive. On this account it is a hard matter to find one single man wise and faithful, but the number of bad men is beyond all computation.